Mother, Mother Ocean, I have heard you call. Wanted to sail upon your water since I was 3 feet tall.
That was Kenny Chesney singing Jimmy Buffett's A Pirate Looks at 40 after he learned that Buffett died on September 1st. He was one of dozens of superstar artists to pay tribute to the rock and country legend's life and music. Brad Paisley said, quote, "He got the point of all of this," before thanking Jimmy for a beautiful legacy. Blake Shelton said he was heartbroken and encouraged fans to raise a glass today to the son of a sailor. The news was so shocking. I mean, we knew Jimmy was battling something, but he was just 76 and still seemed so full of life. Very few people knew of his 4-year health battle, and when he took the stage for the final time in early July, there was just no sign. Or was there? I'm Billy Dukes, and let us know which Jimmy Buffett song or songs helped you in life, or why you loved his music so dang much. He only had a handful of country hits, and I'm air quoting over here just because radio success was not essential to his influence. Didn't it feel like he was everywhere? Contemporary singers like Chesney and Zac Brown Band might not be if not for Buffett. A top 5 Alan Jackson song featured Buffett at the very end, although this performance video from 2003 finds the two men on stage together the entire time. This video promised his final performance, and we'll start there. Then what you need to know about how Jimmy Buffett died, and more moving tributes to the Margaritaville singer. Consider tapping subscribe if you appreciate this approach to music news and analysis, and tap the thumbs up button to show you are a fan and will miss him like heck. You couldn't buy a ticket to see Jimmy Buffett's final show. It was never promoted, and in fact, the venue owner didn't even learn that he was coming until hours before showtime. But how can you turn down a legend like that? Mac McAnally, a longtime bandmate of Jimmy's, had a stop at a restaurant called Sunset Cove in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Just a few hundred people were expected to show up, but Jimmy was actually nearby and itching to do anything. If you recall, he'd postponed or canceled some shows in late September 2022, and then again in May 2023. A month later, news surfaced that he was pulling out of a show called Summerfest, and astute fans learned that he'd begun to outright cancel previously postponed shows in mid-August. That was probably a bad omen. Talking to WJAR in Boston, the restaurant's owner Mike McFarlane recalled McAnally calling him to say that Jimmy wanted to play a few songs. Quote, "It was just impromptu, just wanted to get out of the house." Once plans were secure, Jimmy dashed off a note that said he'd be back in a minute and left it somewhere at the Long Island home he was staying in. Then he flew to Rhode Island, and midway through It's 5 o'clock somewhere, this happened.
Jimmy Buffett, dude!
Obviously, fans went crazy, but remember, Jimmy wasn't just looking to play for 90 seconds. He ended up turning in a 45-minute-long set that included Cheeseburger in Paradise, Come Monday, and A Pirate Looks at 40, the song that Chesney tributed him with. The set list is available at setlist.com, but you can also see it here. Of course, he closed with Margaritaville, his most famous song.
Wasted away again in Margaritaville. To love me like my dog does, baby.
During his final month, Jimmy spent a lot of time reminiscing on Facebook. He shared old photos, commented on covers of his most popular songs, and recalled the good times. I love that video of his dogs because it shows what a dog lover he really was. And here's how fans learned that he died. Just after midnight on September 2nd, a post went up on his Facebook page revealing that he'd passed that night. Officially on September 1st, he was surrounded by family, friends, music, and dogs. Quote, "He lived his life like a song until the very last breath and will be missed beyond measure by so many." Ain't that the truth? A closer look at his website shows that he likely died in the same Long Island home that he escaped from to play that show in July. It also reveals that for 4 years, he'd been fighting Merkel cell skin cancer. I dropped a link to the Mayo Clinic's description of that form of cancer in the description section below, It's rare and aggressive, but survival rates are generally above 60%. Long-term sun exposure or a weak immune system may increase your risk of developing this kind of cancer, and it can grow and spread very quickly. He kept it a secret for 4 years, continued to play dozens of concerts as he underwent treatment. As a last wish, he asked for donations to several charities, including the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the MD Anderson Cancer Center. He leaves behind wife Jane, daughters Savannah Jane and Sarah, and son Cameron, plus one grandson, several dogs, and many more family members.
Heading up to San Francisco for the Labor Day weekend show.
That was Keith Urban's tribute to Jimmy. He said he was shocked, but shared a story about being invited to go to dinner with Jimmy and Jane in St. Bart's one year.
He said to me, "Man, you should grab your guitar. There's a bar in town, and I'm sure if we take our guitars, they'll let us sit in." So it's me and Jimmy carrying our guitars down the street in St. Bart's.
Quote, "It was such an honor to know him," Keith says. Toby Keith shared a pair of photos and a note about his influence. Sir Paul McCartney remembered Jimmy Buffett's lust for life and wrote a long, loving tribute to his friend. Wrestler Ric Flair, actor Donnie Wahlberg, and former President Bill Clinton all shared tributes. Here's Zach Brown taking a moment during a concert. Drop your tribute below, and at some point this week, pour one for Jimmy, a brilliant songwriter, performer, and friend to everyone he met. I'm Billy Dukes for Taste of Country. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing.